No charges were laid. Perhaps next time a courtesy flush will suffice.
Oh, good one, Global News.
Global News with those zingers.
Patterns. Yeah, motherfucker. We're gonna take it up a few notches right now. See if y'all can keep up. Wanna give a motherfucker sucker.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 42 of the ScruffCast. I'm Dan.
And I'm John.
And we're back. And we're going to kick things off with our new, what do we call these things? New segment?
New feature.
New feature.
Yes.
That we started last week, which is the Roll Up the Rim to Win.
A live ScruffCast edition.
Boom. John.
All right, so last week I was, please try again, and Dan won a coffee.
Let's see if I can go 2 for 2.
See how it goes. We're rolling up the rim.
John does the finger roll.
And please play again.
Oh, no surprise. Now I will do the teeth roll and surely win again. And I won a coffee.
Damn.
I swear to God, that's hilarious. Oh, that's awesome. And you know, these are the exact same coffees. You could have chosen this one.
Yeah, we both take our coffee the same way.
Boom.
Double.
All right.
All right, well, maybe
I'm liking it. We got to keep doing this because I keep winning every time we do this.
I know. Damn.
There we go.
I keep losing. I got to try the teeth roll next time.
You got to do the teeth roll.
All right.
Okay. Well,
on to the segment we usually open with, which is the question to ponder from the previous week. So last week we had a bit of a grim question to ponder. It was, you can cure all diseases in the world forever, but to do so you have to murder one innocent child, which we determined would be 6 years old. Would you do it?
okay.
So the listeners pulled through. Would we like to read their email first?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So we had a listener who wrote into scruffcast@gmail.com, just like you guys can out there. And subject was question to ponder. Hi guys, great podcast last week. Like always, you never disappoint.
Oh, thank you.
These listeners are too nice to us. I wish we would get more emails from them.
Yeah.
As for the question to ponder, really tough one. I think I would kill a 6-year-old. However, I would do it peacefully, sitting in the car with him or her in the garage with the car running. Now, to be clear here, we didn't ask how.
We never.
No.
We never wanted to know how you would kill them, just if you would.
We don't want the nitty-gritty. So if we see any news articles or anything like this, we're just going to be like, nope, but that wasn't influenced by the ScruffCast at all.
That's right.
So, peacefully in the garage with the car running. God, please forgive me for this answer. These boys are evil, even asking the question. Sent from my iPhone.
You just had to answer, would you kill him or not? You didn't have to tell us how you kill him.
Yeah, it's a little grim.
Yeah. John, would you kill him? Or her?
I'm a bit of a weenie. I don't think I could live with the guilt. I'd have to be, I think, backed into a situation where it's like somebody close to me got like a disease that could be cured.
Yeah.
And was like, oh, all you got to do is kill this innocent child and you'll save this other person with a disease.
Yeah.
Then it'd be like, oh man, I'm backed into a corner. What do I do? Otherwise, I don't know if I could.
I would do it. I say that now, but like if the time came,
I think only if I could like give them the Thanos snap.
Yeah,
and then they're done.
See ya.
Otherwise, even no matter how peacefully, Jesus Christ, this is pretty grim.
Yeah, maybe we should have gone with a different one.
Yeah,
our question upon it for this week's much better.
Yeah, much better. You got to stay until the end of the episode.
All right.
Oh,
you know what, John?
What?
Today is pretty much today is the 1-year anniversary of our 10th episode, which was the worst episode we ever did.
It was pretty bad. I can't even remember what the title was.
The not so special 10th
the
episode?
Not so special 10th episode, spectacular something. It's right up there with episode like 38 or something, The Dud.
Yeah.
Both those episodes were shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're really bad.
I feel like if I'm recommending the ScruffCast to anybody new, I say we were just kind of catching
just skip
our
past
stride.
those ones.
There was a couple good ones in the beginning, right? Like we had the Hawaiian Missile Crisis in the early ones.
Yeah.
So like 5, 6. But otherwise, I would say you got to skip right up to like maybe 10, 11. Not 10. Skip up to 11.
Yeah. This is the 1 year anniversary because it was Family Day. We were not on our game.
Correct.
Seems like the holidays we just don't. We can't cash in.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, we cashed in on a 4-month vacation over the holiday season last year.
We
by
did.
Just skipping it at all. But we're back. We're running now 3 weeks in a row.
So in saying that, we're going to try to do better this Family Day.
Yes.
For our ScruffCast family.
Yes, because I was going to say, the listeners, you're like our family. All right. On to the articles. What do families do? They try to look after each other and keep each other safe. You may remember last week we talked about this crazy bitch throwing a chair from like the 20th story of a condo building here in downtown Toronto. Well, there was an update.
We told you we were going to get updates.
Yes.
Look at us following through with what we say we're going to do. Doesn't happen often, but we did it this week.
The ScruffCast, an investigative journalism podcast.
That's right.
Woman in chair throwing video identified, Toronto police say. Toronto police say they have identified the woman shown in a video of a chair being thrown from a downtown condominium balcony. The 9-second video was posted to Facebook Saturday and has since been viewed more than 680,000 times. Shows a woman tossing a chair off the balcony of a downtown condo. The chair then falls several floors to the ground. Several is an understatement. It was like 20.
Yeah.
Like literally 20 floors. The chair then falls several floors to the ground. It is not believed anybody was injured by the chair. A photo posted online showed 2 mangled chairs resembling the one in the video sitting on a sidewalk. Police asked the public Monday for help identifying the woman. The ScruffCast answered the call. We were out here letting the people know about these terrible people around the city. And then they ended up identifying her. I'm not going to say...
We may have had a large part in this.
I am going to say, yeah, maybe it was all thanks to us.
Yeah.
It was all thanks to us. Police told CTV Toronto Tuesday it was all due to the ScruffCast. No, they didn't say that. Police told CTV Toronto Tuesday that they had been in contact with...
Can you imagine?
Oh, dude.
Oh, instant credibility we'd have.
The day when there's an article we read on the ScruffCast where it was...
About the ScruffCast?
Linked, yeah, back from the ScruffCast. The second we get any positive press, that story makes the ScruffCast. Like, okay, if you have a news publication that's like maybe in its, early stages and you're like trying to get the word out and... popularize it. And I think a good way would be by writing an article about the ScruffCast, which you can contact scruffcast@gmail.com or on Twitter @ScruffCast. Because that article will probably make the ScruffCast, so then we'll talk about it. And then your news publication
of course we're going to talk about ourselves.
Will be listened by the thousands and thousands and dare I say millions of listeners who listen every week. Even though only one wrote in for the question.
Even though one only writes in. We know there's millions out there. It's a busy world, Dan. They don't have time. I get it,
but we're just asking you to do better. So police told CTV Toronto Tuesday they had been in contact with either the perpetrator herself or her representative. They don't know. That's weird. And we're discussing arrangements for the woman to surrender.
Good.
So it makes it sound like she's like up in her condo balcony and she's like, I'm not coming down no matter what you say.
You must surrender. They're pointing like rifles up at her.
They're pointing rifles and they're like,
got a sniper on the building across like the street.
Come down peacefully. We have a little...
I got a clean shot, Chief. Let me take it.
They're like trying to talk her down. It's like, come down peacefully. We have a Little Caesars hot and ready special. No need to be rash. We'll get you... And she's like, I need the marinara sauce. We'll get you the marinara sauce. Jim, get her some goddamn marinara.
Get her the goddamn marinara sauce. You know what? Okay, this article wasn't... it didn't have a lot of information on like what actually happened. No. I read more about it. I read a little bit more about it, and first off, she was an influencer. So you want to explain what an influencer is, John, to anyone who doesn't know?
So influencers are like people who are on like Snapchat and Instagram and YouTube, where you can find the ScruffCast by searching for the ScruffCast on YouTube.com. And I don't know, they I don't want to say famous, but they have a following online for just kind of doing nothing.
Yeah, they just kind of go about their everyday life.
Yeah.
And people just watching what they do, I guess.
I guess they're just vlogging about it.
Which
we have a banned topic, which is one of these influencer people.
Yeah.
Which we're not going to go into. Long-time listeners will know.
Why do influencers exist? Why is this a thing?
You know why? It's all because of marketing, right? So, an industry I know a lot about, just from following as a fan or whatever, is video games. And traditionally, the way it would work is, a new video game's coming out. They'd send copies of the game out to like big publications and websites, and they would write reviews of the games and like promote them and stuff. But now these video game companies want to spend their marketing dollars on like influencers instead. So they send it to like YouTubers and like people on Twitch, which is like a website where people just like live stream themselves like playing games and stuff. Because those are having bigger impacts. Because even though these people have like influencers have smaller audiences, those audiences like are more engaged, right? So they're like, oh my god, I gotta watch and see what this person's doing every day.
Yeah.
Right. So they'll be like, oh my god, I was just out and I happened to run into IKEA and look at all these great furniture prices or whatever, and people will watch it and they'll be like, oh my god, I gotta get IKEA because like that guy has IKEA.
Yeah, it's like cheaper than like running commercials for them to just pay this person to do it.
And it's a lot cheaper to produce the content this way too.
Yeah,
because it's just like people, I don't know, like making videos, putting them up on YouTube and stuff. So I don't know, but the hard part is I've
never heard of this woman though.
I've never heard of this woman either. But I mean, it got her on the ScruffCast. Yeah, but we also don't know her name, so. Like, do you remember a while back we had this article about this bitchy woman who had like some sort of like Tinder like competition?
Yes.
She matched like a billion guys on Tinder, got in a fight. She was one of those influencers in air quotes here.
She was doing a social experiment.
Yeah, just like stupid stuff like that. The thing that's hard to understand though is how does it start? Because I understand once you have a following, right? Then companies will be like, oh, want you to like market stuff and blah, blah, blah. But how do you get that following in the beginning if you're just doing nothing?
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Well, you're just filming like your everyday life of like, look at me, I'm going to work at Tim Hortons or whatever.
This is our 42nd episode of this,
Yeah,
we're like doing the same thing they're doing.
Much better, I would say.
Yeah. Like, where the hell's this gotten us?
Yeah, I know. Well, we don't have anybody.
We have one goddamn person writing in a week if we're lucky. Like our record was 2 one time.
I think we've had 2.
God.
And, we actually had a new idea to get listeners to interact with the show.
Save it for the end.
But we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Save it to the end.
Save it to the end. Gotta get the people sticking around to the end.
All right. And hey, I'll look in the analytics. I'll know if you skip to the end.
Can you do that?
Does it matter?
Oh.
All right.
All right.
On to the next article here. This one comes from globalnews.ca. So, Dan, I don't know if you can relate with this one or not. And I don't know about the listeners. But it feels like this is like an everyman sort of problem. Like who hasn't had this happen to them? Home Depot bomb threat was actually customer warning he's about to poop. A Home Depot customer's polite warning that the end of days was imminent, announcing to others he was about to go poop in the washroom, was mistaken for a bomb threat in Wichita, which is a city in Kansas. Wichita Police Department, terrible sentence, were called to a Home Depot on Monday after a reported bomb threat. Oh my God, there's a billion ads on this website here. Trying to scroll past. Global News, get your shit together. We just had a customer here make what may have been a bomb threat, a man told the 911 dispatcher in released audio of the call. He said, somebody told me there's a bomb in here and you need to leave the building. He said it 3 times. Police responded to the home reno store and learned that the threat came from someone in the store's restroom. An employee told the responding officers he was standing at the urinal when another gentleman came out of a stall and said, somebody told me there's a bomb in the building. You need to leave the building, the Wichita Eagle reported. I'm assuming it's their newspaper. Mm-hmm. According to the newspaper, a store clerk recognized the man because he's a, in quotes here, regular customer, and gave the man's name to police. Regular customer, and they did him dirty.
How is there a regular customer at Home Depot? How often do you need to go to Home Depot for?
If you're a contractor or something.
Well, I suppose, yeah.
Or maybe he just really liked poop in there.
Yeah.
And this was his masterpiece. Right? He finally hit the peak of poop.
Here we go. Gonna set off a bomb.
Officers contacted the man and he explained to the cops that he had no intention of causing such alarm and that the comment he said was meant to be funny. Turns out the man was also in the washroom when at some point another gentleman gave the warning, you all need to get out of here because I'm fixing to blow it up. A comment he got the gist of, understanding the man in quotes here, was in a serious need to defecate and that he was attempting to provide a polite warning to the other patrons of the bathroom. Who the hell talks like this? The regular customer, they put it in quotes too, regular customer, like they don't believe it either.
Regular customer.
The regular customer told police he gave the warning to the employee in the washroom, meaning it to be a joke, but said he didn't know the men's bathroom humor was taken so seriously. No charges were laid. Perhaps next time a courtesy flush will suffice.
Oh, good one, Global News.
Global News with those zingers. I mean,
funny.
who hasn't had this happen to them?
Poop's always funny.
I mean, dare I say, if you got a poop story, it probably makes a ScruffCast too.
If you got a poop story you want us to share, email us. ScruffCast@gmail.com.
Could you imagine being this guy? You're like, oh man, I'm fixing to blow it up in here. And the people, like, okay, who?
He's a regular customer too, so he feels comfortable, you know what I mean, in the environment. So he's like, hey, I'm going to make a funny joke here.
Yeah,
everybody's going to love it.
I'm with my people. Alice at customer service, she knows me. Walking in, hey, regular
Jill's
customer.
going to love this one.
And he's like, I'm just fixing to blow it up in here. Maybe he's a janitor. Maybe this guy has been taking really stinky poops here for too long. And the janitor's like, I've had enough of this guy.
I'm going to call a bomb threat on this guy.
I'm going to
try to get him locked away.
It didn't. Did it say?
It said no charges.
It said no charges were laid. I guess so. But interesting. And another article here, rather than calling him a regular customer, they referred to him as Mr. Poop.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess so. Everybody poops, but not everybody gets bomb threats about their poops.
That's true.
All right, on to the next article here from CBC.ca. It's all Canadian news sources this week. Very interesting. Mars One, which offered one-way trips to Mars, declared bankrupt. Mars One, a Dutch company that planned to send humans on a one-way trip to Mars and start the first human colony on the Red Planet, has been declared bankrupt. The declaration was made in a Swiss court on January 15th and posted on Reddit this past weekend, officially dissolving Mars One Ventures AG. So, the official ruling happened like in the Swiss court, but it wasn't until it got posted onto Reddit that the news sources were like,
anyone knew about it.
Now it's real news.
So when it goes on Reddit, then it becomes official.
See, that's what I want the ScruffCast to be like. I want us to talk about stuff, and then they make the articles when it was mentioned on the ScruffCast this past week, and then they're like, now it's official. The ScruffCast only sources real material.
It's possible.
It's possible. We must have somebody who listens who's related to journalism or something.
Come on!
Don't you remember the time we found that Ticketmaster site where it's like you could do the reselling? It was like the shady...
We almost committed to doing that.
Yeah, we almost made an account. It didn't let us. But we thought about it.
We thought about doing it.
So
we kind of tried.
That's the bar I want to set for the ScruffCast. I want us to be up there with, the sources in the articles. Anyways, according to an email the company shared here, we are currently working with the administrator and an investor to find a solution moving forward, though at this moment, that is all we can share. The bankruptcy affects the company's commercial arm, Mars One Ventures AG, but does not affect the non-profit Mars One Foundation, the email said. Press release notes the company is currently working on a solution with an investor. Mars One began accepting applications in 2013 for a mission to establish a permanent settlement on Mars. It planned to launch a total of 24 people in groups of 4 every 2 years, starting in 2024. The company claimed it could do so using existing technology. What a bold claim.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, we can do this using stuff that already exists. How? Oh, don't worry about it.
We can do it.
Another bankrupt. It estimated launching the first 4 people would cost $6 billion and said it planned to raise the money through broadcasting rights and sponsorships.
Just have like Butterfinger logoed all over the spaceship.
Yeah. Or well, it would look like a giant Butterfinger.
Yeah.
Right, like as it's blasting off.
Yeah.
Right, it would be like painted so it looks like the wrapper for Butterfinger. More than 200,000 people from 100 countries applied to the Mars One program, including more than 8,000 Canadians. The company announced a short list of 100 people in 2015, including 6 Canadians.
Oh.
I like how these Canadian news articles, they always got to loop
Always
back to
shouting out the
themselves,
Canadians,
right?
yeah.
It's just like, oh, like terrible acts happening in Syria, including a Canadian journalist. But it's like literally there's dozens of people or something.
Yeah.
Right? But it's always like, but Canada's connected to this in some way. Person who once lived in Canada went on vacation in Mexico and blah, blah, blah.
Person who once visited Canada.
Yeah. Person who's thought about Canada once or twice. However, experts questioned the plan and pointed out it had some potentially deadly flaws, and some critics openly questioned whether it was a scam. The fact is the money is not there, the technology is not there. Elmo Keep, a journalist who has been investigating the company, told CBC's Radio Q this past November. That's a terrible name. Terrible
Elmo
name.
Keep.
Okay, Keep is a bad last name. But who names their kid Elmo? Ugh.
Maybe he changed his name to that. Maybe it was like one of his favorite Sesame Street characters.
I guess. Jesus Christ, that's bad.
That's kind of sad. That I was excited for that mission to Mars.
So I wasn't all that keen on this because I love space and space exploration.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since they first announced this thing, it always seemed very shady.
Not possible,
right? It was because it was always just kind of like, oh, we're gonna go, we're gonna do it, but don't worry about it. We're gonna figure out the rest later. People just apply and we'll select the applicants.
Yeah,
We'll
there's
do
no
this
actual set plan.
Existing technology. Because do you know how expensive and how hard it is to launch rockets into space? Dude, it's insanely hard.
Yeah, I probably
Right?
I've never launched one myself.
Me either, but from the rough estimations I've read about online, it's about $10,000 for every pound of matter or whatever it is you're sending up into space. So it's expensive, right? It's a very costly sort of thing to explore. And when you are dealing with traveling that far, right, out to Mars, first off, it's a 9-month trip, right?
Yeah.
So you got to make sure you can deal with having people in an enclosed environment not going insane.
Yeah.
Stuck in this.
Hypersleep.
Yeah, right?
That's how you solve it.
That's not existing technology, right? So then it's a 9-month trip. And then you have all these sort of problems with radiation and stuff.
From the sun?
From the sun, yeah. Once you're, past the Earth's atmosphere and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
When they go to the moon, don't they have to deal with that too?
Well, yeah, but they're not out there forever. And they also haven't been there in 50 years.
That's true.
Right? But there's tons of problems. The one theory I read about before was actually sending people who are really fat and then having them take supplements and stuff so then their body will just eat the fat away.
Jesus.
Help keep them fed.
Yeah.
And then they'll be skinny by the time they get to Mars. Right? 9 months later.
And then populate the planet with genetically better humans than they were.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Right.
Would you go? Would you sign up for this? Let's say you don't have a girlfriend and your family doesn't exist anymore. I'm not going to kill them off because that's just mean.
Yeah.
They just don't exist.
Okay.
You're into space. Roll up on
I
it.
am.
Let's just say they do have an actual way of doing it. You know what I mean? They spell it all out and everybody's like, oh yeah, no, this is legit. This could actually work. Would you sign up to go?
Is it a one-way trip?
Yeah, you're not coming back.
It depends. What do I get to bring with me? Am I going by myself?
No, you're going with 3 other people.
Do I get
Four-man group.
Do I get to pick the people?
No, they pick them.
Damn. I was going to say, guess what, homie? You're leaving your kid and your fiance behind?
ScruffCast is going to Mars!
We could, if we had some sort of internet connection, we could definitely record it.
I feel like we've talked about this before.
Yeah, probably.
Broadcasting
There's
from
been so
space.
many episodes, though. The listeners don't remember.
Nah, they don't remember.
But would I go? I don't think so. Not at my current age. I'm too young. Too young and spry.
Too much to do here on Earth.
Yeah.
Gotta save this planet
Yeah.
before we colonize another.
If I was old, I think if I was 70. Yeah, 70. That's a good age. That's a prime going to Mars age.
I don't think so. Because, once you get to Mars, there's work to be done. You're 70.
What are they going to do? Fire me?
Back and do nothing. Well, no, you're there. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
And everything will be lighter, right? So it'll be easier to pick stuff up. You'll have a little pep in your step. Because 70, you're just feeling like you're starting to get old. And then you'll go to Mars and all of a sudden you'll be like, I'm
Take
like...
10 years off your life.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the radiation...
You'll almost be
will probably
71
get
by the time you get there, though.
That's true. The radiation will probably get you and kill you, but
Yeah.
in due time. In due time.
In due time.
Yeah, I don't think I would go until I was older. That'd be like a good way to go out, I think. Going to Mars.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you would not.
In the same situation you were in. Do
Yeah.
I still have friends in this situation?
Yeah, you can still text. It just takes 20 minutes to travel.
No, I probably wouldn't go.
And then
If I had like literally no one, no friends, no family, yeah, screw it. I'm going to Mars.
and then
But
it
I think that's a lot of people would probably do that.
would take 20 minutes to reply as well.
Yeah.
And you know how it is nowadays. You text people and they don't answer.
yeah.
You're like, oh, he must have just answered. I'm just waiting the 20 minutes for the speed of light.
You know
for
how
it to come
hard it'd
back."
be to have a conversation like that because
Yeah.
like maybe you have another thought, so you send another text message 2 minutes later.
Yeah,
You know
the
what I
person
mean?
on the other end
So
is
it's
just
like
getting bombarded.
boop, 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 boop. Oh my god, it'd be frustrating.
Yeah, it would suck. Yeah. And, well, they don't really have these, like outer space internet things solved yet. Well, at least
No.
far out enough.
Once
to
they
Mars.
get Wi-Fi on Mars,
Yeah,
I'll be a
once
little
they got
more
Wi-Fi,
interested.
then you got me. But yeah, I don't think I would go.
Okay.
But there's definitely a lot of problems with this people's approach to this Mars One Corporation, because like was linked in the article, a lot of people came out and talked about it and said there was like a bunch of flaws.
Yeah.
And so another article they have here from 2014 is talking about it, and they did a feasibility study by some PhDs from MIT. And they said, one way to think about it is it's a Sim City for Mars, referring to the popular video game series. They took into account information like food from Earth will only serve as emergency rations. The astronauts will mainly eat fresh food they grow themselves, which is something that's never been done before, obviously,
Yeah.
growing stuff. And then the other big thing was to fund the whole thing, they were going to, I think they wanted to like live stream stuff or like record it and put it up online, like a reality show. Like
Right.
from Mars.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
No.
You need government money for this kind of stuff. Private organizations can't do this.
Private organizations have a tough time. Like SpaceX is pretty successful, right? But they're not going to Mars.
Not yet. No.
Not yet, but it is definitely a costly venture,
Yeah.
right? But listeners, what do you think about this? Hit us up, scruffcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think.
Moving right along.
Moving right along. The next article on the list. Ooh, this is a spicy one.
Oh.
This comes to us from Boston25news.com. Marijuana billboard causing controversy along Connecticut highway. This is a terribly slow website that's just loading. And it's continuing. Oh, we've loaded. All right.
All right.
Oh, I'm going to say
That was embarrassing.
It's been a bit of a rough week so far. Rough episode.
A RoughCast.
Jesus Christ.
We'll call this one a RoughCast.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this
The RoughCast, ScruffCast.
this one hasn't been much better than the previous
Yeah, we
February
just can't handle these.
Family Day one.
Can't
Because
handle these
we get to
holidays.
these ones too late. We do Family Day. Right. We see our families. That's what Family Day is about here.
Yeah,
So, what time is it? It's 11:39 right now. This is like well past my bedtime. Not John's, but
no.
I'm asleep by this point.
I think we do this every time, too. We tell the listeners how much they should appreciate us staying up.
And we did this last time too. Yeah,
Just so they know.
we're not going to do that this time.
We're not going to do that, but you should be very thankful. A billboard along a Connecticut highway is brewing controversy between residents. On the federal level, marijuana is still highly illegal, but in neighboring Massachusetts, the substance has been legalized since 2016.
What? I didn't know that.
Well, I remember they legalized it, but I didn't, like 2016, was that long ago? Oh, you know what? Yes, because it was at the same time when they legalized it, I believe in California, which was the presidential election when Donald Trump got elected.
Oh, I didn't even know that was
Yeah,
Massachusetts.
because the United States is weird, right? Like, so when you go and vote for the president, they'll have like all these other bills and stuff, like top positions and stuff to vote on, right? So The billboard, put up by Weed Maps, a company that allows people to find marijuana dispensaries across the country, directs viewers to the new pot shop in Northampton, Massachusetts, 60 miles away. Some are saying the advertising is inappropriate, citing that weed is still legal in Connecticut and it will incentivize people to return home having been or planning to be under the influence. Protesters and proponents were split over the weekend, some even making parallels to the gun control debate.
Oh.
Imagine that the state has made firearms legal or weaponry legal, and you have a billboard come up that says, "Drive 60 miles to pick up a bump stock," said one resident. "I believe this sign promotes a gateway to a healthier lifestyle, freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. It says that there's access legally in the state neighboring." That's a very weird sentence.
I don't even know what you said. I was reading along with you. I don't get it.
Technically, the billboard itself is advertising for the app, which isn't illegal. So that was the whole article, but I'm interested in your take on this, Dan. What do you think?
I think this person who compares it to like legal firearms is crazy. It's a big difference.
Well, I understand their scenario, right? But it's saying, like, imagine it said, "Oh, go and pick up bump stocks," which is like a thing that can be added onto like a firearm that
to make it shoot faster.
Affects how fast it can fire, I
think we also talked about bump stocks.
I think so too, because there was
dude, we've covered it all. Let's just shut it down right now. There's nothing left to talk about.
But in that analogy, right? It's saying like, "Oh, this way to pick up a bump stock," but you're picking it up, and then you're coming home with it. So that's illegal, right? Of course. But for that analogy to work for this, it'd be like you'd have to go across the border, pick up a bunch of weed, and then come back, which would be illegal. But if you just go across the border to Massachusetts, you smoke there.
And then come back.
That's not legal. That would be like going to Massachusetts, using the bump stock to fire the firearm at like a range or something.
Yeah.
And then coming back without the bump stock. But still the fun memories of firing it at the range.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I feel like this person is, making a ill-gotten analogy.
I don't know. This the states are weird, where it's like each state like has their own rules for this kind of stuff. Look, in Canada now, it's all just like
does, but like for things that are on the provincial level as well. But the problem is our provinces are so big.
Yeah,
right? There's only like 10 of them.
Yeah. We're not driving over to Quebec.
No,
that's for damn sure.
No, that's too far. And we all know where Quebec ranks on the list of things we don't like on the ScruffCast. It's up there.
Right above Buffalo.
Yeah. Oh, Frenchy. Yeah, so like the drinking age in Quebec is 1 year younger. It's 18.
Yeah, it is.
But here, because we're not savages, it's 19. Which is actually 2 years younger than the States.
But you know what? That's a great comparison you make there, because like technically we could just drive over to Quebec at 18, buy our beer, and then drive back.
Well,
into Ontario.
That's different though, right? Because that would be like driving over to Massachusetts, buying the weed, coming back, and then smoking it.
No, I know, but isn't this what the people like are complaining about in this article? About the billboard? Or was I just not paying attention to this?
So they're complaining that. So the one thing that I'm like, okay, I could understand this angle of it is, it said, some are saying this advertising is inappropriate, citing that weed is still legal in Connecticut, and it will incentivize people to return home having been or planning to be under the influence. So if they're thinking of like somebody goes over there, smokes, and drives back, I could get that, right?
Yeah.
But they don't mention driving or anything at all. It just says
under
having been or planning to be under the influence. It's like, hey, if you go over there, let's say, you take a day trip, spend the night, right? Just taking a day trip like you'd figure you'd do on a week off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And, you engage in some of the devil's lettuce and you get high and come back the next day. Not a big deal, right? Why is it this person's business what you're doing in the other state if it's legal?
Yeah, yeah.
But if you go and then you get high and drive back, well, that's a little like, right? Obviously, you shouldn't be driving. But if you go and you get high and you come back, but you're not driving, right? Like you have somebody else driving you, or you take a bus or something, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it illegal to be high in the state? It's just like, is that illegal? But But is it though? Not if you smoked in the other state. But if you got pulled over, there's no way you'd be like, I smoked in the other state and I came back. They'd be like, yeah, right.
Yeah, I know.
Or like, because I don't exactly know how it works in the States, but I don't think there's like state crossings.
No, it's
not
like
you're
here.
getting checked. Yeah.
No, there's no border. Like,
right, because you're just all within the same country.
you just drive through. Yeah.
So how does that work? They just got to give it the time. Just legalize it, man.
Just do it countrywide.
Yeah, we did it countrywide in Canada.
Look how great that's turned out for us.
Yeah. I mean, we took a 4-month vacation, totally unrelated, of course. But, I mean, like, my whole take on it is, like, who cares? Like, let people do what they want to do. As long as you're not hurting anybody else. Like, just get over it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Right? It's like the same thing.
That's kind of our view on everything.
On most things. It's like the same thing when you see, like, a couple, like a gay couple got engaged at Disneyland. I remember we probably talked about this as well on the podcast, but
Maybe.
whatever. Listeners, if you have a problem, write in. Where I remember I watched a video online, and it was... two guys got engaged, right? And some guy proposed to his boyfriend in Disneyland, and people were like, "Oh my God, Disney! This is so shameful. I'm never coming back to your parks again." It's like,
good.
it's not like okay, like if you were like at Disneyland waiting in line, like to get on a ride, and this whole like elaborate proposal happens and like gets in your way, I could see you being like, "What the heck? I'm getting in line for the ride."
Yeah,
but this
yeah,
is like a day you're not even there. It's like, why does this bother you? It's so stupid. Right?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
It's like it has nothing to do with you, right? It's the same thing as this weed thing.
Yeah, but exactly. People just love to be bothered by things.
I think it is because people feel like everyone has their own set of like morals and values and their views on things.
Yeah,
and obviously you think that the way like your views on things is like the proper way.
Yeah.
Otherwise you wouldn't think like, this is my view on this, but that's kind of shit. Right?
yeah.
You know what I mean? So you think that you're right about everything. So if people are different, you don't like it. Oh my God, look at these people who aren't like me. There's so many. Sure. There's even a billboard about them. You know what? Like, lady, just go home and eat a casserole and shut up.
Yeah. It's funny because like I don't like... So the thing with like all this stuff like on the internet, right? So like when someone says something dumb or whatever, right? Like I'm trying to think of like examples here. Like all like kind of like the Me Too stuff or this and that, like whatever it is, right? Someone says something ignorant on the internet and everybody just like goes to town on them, right?
Oh yeah,
about like how worthless they are and how terrible people they are, or whatever. Right?
I hate this terrible culture of like dunking on people.
Yeah, and so like that's another thing I don't like either, right? It's like the person says something dumb, but like then they're just dumb. Just like don't worry about it. Keep to yourself. Well, like why do you have to go and be all judgy for? Like just.
Because it's
just
like you just want to score the internet points of like, look at me, I'm better than this person.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I'm shaming them too.
Oh my God. And then, dude, it always comes back. It always comes back because it's always like, oh my God, look at these people. How could they do that? That's
good thing I screenshotted this before they deleted this tweet.
Right? But then it always rolls back around because the standards get higher and higher, and that person who was all in the clear, all of a sudden it's like, look at this old tweet where you called someone something not nice. It's like,
exactly.
It's like, oh, what? That was
called him a dum-dum.
Yeah. See, we can't even say the words because we'll get people like writing at us. How could you say that?
I know.
Or whatever, right? That's a society we live in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's like one thing we were going to talk about on this was that Amber Alert that happened.
Yeah. Like, so what was it? It was this past week, I believe it was Valentine's Day, actually.
Yeah, Thursday night, I think it was.
There was an Amber Alert, and I don't know if there's any listeners out there who don't know what it is. It's like an alert that goes out if in the case of like a missing child, right?
Yep.
And thankfully, they're not very common, right? Because obviously you never want to see these sort of scenarios.
Yeah.
So this past week there was an Amber Alert put out by the Ontario Police, and they actually have a system where they can like send messages out to everybody's phones, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen this happen before on my phone, but Dan, you said you actually had never seen this before.
No, I never seen it. I thought this is a new thing. I think this is like a new thing for like an emergency broadcast.
I think this is new before. I know they can do them in the United States because I remember when they were testing it at like a presidential alerts, everybody was like shit talking, like, "Oh, Donald Trump's going to be sending me messages. What the hell?"
Yeah.
But I have gotten like emergency broadcasts on my phone before.
Yeah. So like the big thing was like it happened. It was like 11:30 or 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was pretty late
when it went off, right? And if you didn't have your I had my phone on silent and I didn't hear anything.
I actually thought it like overrode it.
That's what I thought. That's what I figured would happen too, but I guess not. I don't know. But it so apparently woke some people up. It was late at night, so it woke people up and.
Yeah, because first one went off that said like Amber Alert. If you have any information, child last seen here with this person, blah blah blah. Giving sort of like their details, right?
Yeah. And then they tell you one like, okay, Amber Alert's off.
Yeah,
There's like 2 updates. Yeah. So, oh my god, goddamn iPad keeps falling. So like, some people like were calling 911 to complain about the alert that they received on their phone,
which is outrageous. So can you imagine you're at 911?
And all of a sudden, you start getting all these calls. You're like, "Boom, we got this.
Yeah,
we're gonna get this guy.
We're getting some information.
Why would you send me that stupid notification on my phone?
I'm trying to watch the Great British Bake Off, or whatever."
And it's funny because like
crap.
what we're talking about, like the people judging people and stuff like that. This is what reminded me of it. So there's this woman online that got absolutely roasted because like as soon as like the thing went off, whatever, she like tweeted. She had like a I don't know, a baby. And she like tweeted like, "Oh my god, like this is such a stupid thing. Like this woke my child up. Blah blah blah. This and that." And she's like, because like the whole thing was the father took this girl, right? And that was like the whole. So she's like, the father has consent. This is not necessary to be an Amber Alert. This and that, whatever, right? So this was like before that you found out that the little girl he killed her. Sadly, this was like before you found out. Any of that, she put this tweet out, right? And it's like even before you knew that, it's like an ignorant thing to say, right?
Of course, especially coming from somebody who has a kid,
exactly,
who's complaining,
and
about
like and some people were saying like, "Hey, at least your kid woke up that day," right? Which is like true, right? Which is like it's stupid what she said, and it's like super ignorant, but like also just like everybody just like went to town on this girl, like just went to town, and like. Does she deserve it? Oh, yeah, maybe. Like, she's an idiot. But, like, also, like, why do you guys care if she's an idiot for?
Because you got to be like, look at me. I'm not an idiot. I think this person's dumb.
Yeah. It's like everybody has to, like, be like, I have to show this person that they're an idiot. I have to make sure they know it. Like, why is everybody like that so much? I don't understand it.
And it's all double standards, man. Because if you probably look at some tweets from, like, some people who are like, oh my god, this person is so dumb, how could they say this? If you look at their tweets from like 2 weeks ago, they'll be like, oh my god, I got on the bus and all these people from this other country are stinky or something.
Exactly,
like, some ignorant shit like that, right?
Yeah, so exactly. Everybody thinks their shit don't stink,
Yeah,
but it does.
It's all stinky.
And that guy Wichita was trying to warn us.
Yeah, I think the overall message is just like, just don't be shitty, or keep your shittiness to yourself.
Keep your shittiness to yourself, and everybody else, don't worry about other people's shittiness.
All right? Like, if you're really that great, then you won't have time to worry about everybody who's so dumb, because there'll be too many compared to how great you are.
Yep.
Right?
Agreed.
That's the motto I take. All right. On to another little pot-related article here. This one comes to us from apnews.com. Police say, pot smokers find caged tiger in abandoned house. Houston police say some people who went into an abandoned home to smoke marijuana found a caged tiger. They called the city on Monday, and the Major Offender Animal Cruelty Unit and animal shelter volunteers arrived on the scene. Authorities nicknamed the tiger Tyson, after Mike Tyson in the movies The Hangover. Officials tell KHOU-TV the tiger was well fed, but the cage was secured by a nylon strap and screwdriver.
Jesus!
Officials say it could easily open, and the tiger could have gone on a rampage. So the tiger was just sitting there of his own accord. He's like, I'm liking it in this cage. And
I'm picturing just like a nylon strap, like attached to a wall, and just like stabbed with a screwdriver.
Just like some savage person just like has this abandoned house, so they keep a tiger in there.
Yeah.
And they can't even bother to get a proper cage. Just stab right through in the wall. So the tiger was taken to an animal shelter, then was transferred to an animal sanctuary in Texas on Tuesday. It is legal to own a tiger in Texas if the owner has a wild game permit.
You can own a tiger in Texas?
But it's illegal to have a tiger in Houston. That's bizarre.
But Houston's in Texas.
I imagine it's like how
you're right. It doesn't matter.
The marijuana stuff, like on the state level and federal level.
Yeah.
But like, dude, that'd be some spooky stuff. You're like, all right, just getting ahead. So abandoned house.
Gonna go get a little high in here.
And you go and you got old Tony the tiger.
Oh, man. Imagine you were, like, currently high. You walked in there. Oh, Jesus. What's the stuff you gave us here, Steve?
I want to know more about this guy who had the tiger. Because did this story make the news in Texas? And then he's like, oh, shit. So now he can't go back.
Oh, damn. That was my tiger.
Or did he go back to the house one day and he's like, hey, Tony,
Where'd he go?
What the hell?
Because the tiger was well fed, so it's like someone was taking care of it. Yeah. Someone was watching it.
I can't believe it's legal to have a tiger, though.
The guy's wife just wouldn't let him have it at his house. Yeah.
So he's like, all right, fine.
Got to find an abandoned house to put Tony the tiger into.
I imagine, well, you know what? I picture it's probably a scenario where he brought it home one day. He's like, look what I got, it's Linda. She's like, what the hell? Get that out of my house.
God damn it, Daryl.
Get that out of my house. And then the tiger's getting bigger, and she's like, it's either the tiger or me. And he's like, look.
Then I'm going to go live a secret life with my tiger in this abandoned house.
Yeah, he's like, okay, fine, I'll get rid of the tiger. But really, he just found this abandoned house and set it up there.
Yep.
So every day he goes and feeds it, and she's none the wiser.
There you go.
Must have been heartbreaking for him to find out the tiger was taken.
Yeah, I know.
I actually read a stat one time that there are more tigers in captivity in Texas than there are like out in the wild.
Wow, that's crazy.
Which is, yeah, kind of insane.
That's insane.
Why tigers though? Like, what's the limit on?
Can they own lions?
If the ScruffCast was like a better research podcast, I would have looked up the sort of animals you can own in Texas.
Yeah, but that's not us.
But we're not. No, definitely not.
Okie dokie.
We're rife with technical difficulties you guys don't even know about.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was a big hiccup in there, and it'll be flawless. You guys will never know.
That's how good we are. That's how good we are.
Alrighty.
All right. So this brings us towards the end of the podcast. We always like to wrap it up with a couple segments here.
Oh, I almost forgot again about this.
Dan, how could you be forgetting about the hero of the week and the jabroni of the week? So we like to start with jabroni of the week because we don't want to end on a negative note, you know? So, and we have our a little announcement afterwards, too.
Yes.
So, I'm looking at you, Dan, for your jabroni of the week.
My jabroni of the week? Well, I think we did the chair throwing woman last week. I think she made it into jabroni of the week. Yeah. I don't remember. Maybe she.
Now, is it like double jeopardy where you can't be like tried for the same crime twice? Like, can you be jabroni of the week twice?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You can.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm going to change it up. I'm going to go with Mars 1.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was excited to see something happen, in space. Some space stuff go down. Because, like, what the hell have we seen? We weren't alive, for them going to the moon.
No.
We've seen nothing impressive.
I did watch the movie First Man with Ryan Gosling. Well, I watched it with my girlfriend. Ryan Gosling's in the movie. Yeah. And I didn't watch it with Ryan Gosling. Damn, it was a good movie.
Yeah, so I hear.
Yeah, it was good.
But again, we didn't see it.
Yeah, I know. All I can do is watch it.
So that is my jabroni of the week.
My jabroni of the week? The person who called in the bomb threat on the guy just wanted to take a poop at Home Depot.
Yeah, agreed.
Come on. This man's just living his best life, just pooping at Home Depot every day. Give it up.
And speaking of, that guy taking the poop is my hero of the week.
Ooh.
A good old poopy hero. That's what I'm going with. Because that story made me laugh.
My hero of the week. I kind of want to give it to the guy who's been living this secret life with the tiger.
Yeah.
Right? Keeping it away.
Who's been feeding this tiger? That's what we
Because you know how you see like homeless people sometimes like here in Toronto and they have like dogs and you're like, they just have like such a strong bond. This homeless man and his dog.
Yeah.
Right? He's taking care of the dog and you're like, I wonder how healthy this dog is if he's homeless. I imagine something like this with the tiger. Right? Yeah. He's a homeless guy. But like, I don't know. What are homeless people like in Texas? They probably stand out because like everybody in Texas is a bunch of fatties. So if you're homeless, you're standing out because you're skinny. So like that guy's a tourist.
You're lean.
Or he's homeless. So you know.
Your cowboy hat's a little more wrinkled than the rest.
Your boots have a crease in them. Look at Darnell. He hasn't tied his boots in 2 weeks. He must be homeless.
Taking care of that tiger.
Okay. All
right. What else we have to do?
We have the question to ponder.
Oh yeah.
We have the 5 minutes of selfless promotion, and we have an announcement.
Okay, so let's go with the question to ponder for next week.
Something much less grim. Yeah. Would you like to read it, Dan?
Yep. Let me get it up here. Oh no, not there. Okay. The question to ponder for next week is, what is the best and worst purchases you've ever made? Best and worst.
I like this one because you get to be a little positive, but we also get to bitch a little because
Exactly.
we put the worst purchase in there too.
That's right.
2 questions in one.
Best and worst purchase you've ever made.
Now, I know there's not a single listener out there who hasn't purchased anything in their life. So I want to see those emails sent into ScruffCast.
Plenty of experience, and everybody's made bad purchases.
Yeah. Lucky for you guys, the ScruffCast is free, so you can't mark it down as best purchase.
Yeah, this has not been a purchase.
But if one day if we had merch, we could.
That might be the worst purchase.
So I want to see you guys telling your friends, hey, do you take the bus to work every day? You're bored? You're lonely? You're depressed? I got 2 great guys on the podcast every week who can cheer you up. Tell them about us.
ScruffCast.
ScruffCast. Just put it out there.
You guys know ScruffCast everything. You want to find us on email? ScruffCast. You want to find us on Twitter? ScruffCast. Instagram? ScruffCast.
The ScruffCast.
The ScruffCast. YouTube? ScruffCast. Simple. You know how to find us. We're on Spotify now.
We are. That's like
Everybody's
a legit
got
thing.
Spotify.
Dude, like T-Pain's on Spotify.
And we're also on Spotify.
So like we're on that level.
There, just like that.
All right, the ScruffCast officially endorsed by T-Pain.
And John, you want to tell them our special announcement?
Yeah, so we've been flirting around with the idea of having listeners be able to interact by being part of the podcast, by calling in. So obviously this won't apply to all the listeners because some of you guys we just don't like, obviously.
You know who you are.
Yeah, you know who you are. We called you out on the podcast a couple times. A couple times last week. But but send us a message on one of the various platforms we just listed, right? Leave us a review on iTunes. That'd probably be a good way to get involved. But send us a message. If you've got our numbers, you already know how to reach us. Maybe you can call in and be part of the podcast. We tested out something in our studio setup here.
We have the technology.
Yes. We have the capabilities.
For you to call in. Now, guess what? You're not going to do a whole 50-minute ScruffCast on the phone. That's not going to happen, okay?
No.
We'll give you a few minutes. We'll do that. You want to answer the question to ponder? Sure. You want to talk about something? Sure. You want to debate something? Sure.
Actually,
don't think you're going to be the third member of the ScruffCast. That's not happening.
You know what would be a good way to do this? If you find an article of particular interest you'd like to talk about on the podcast, send it our way. Email us, scruffcast@gmail.com. If it's a good enough article to make the show, you can call in and talk about the article you found.
We're making
this.
We're making podcast history. This is like a radio show meets podcast.
I don't think anybody's ever had
Nobody's
a
done
setup
this.
where not only do they bring on somebody else to help fill the airtime, they get them to bring the content with them. It's genius.
This is
You
a
bring the
fantastic
articles,
idea.
and then you talk about it.
This is going to be great. This is a game changer.
Yeah.
You guys want to be on ScruffCast?
Yeah.
Boom. Here's your chance.
We've been talking about exploring, like, changing up the format of the podcast a little. You know,
Yeah.
it's all in flux. We're not really sure.
We're not sure if we want to do this article thing anymore, by the
Yeah.
way. We're not really sure what we want to do.
You know, I'm tired of these crappy, like, news sources, right? Like, you start reading and you're like, this sentence doesn't make sense.
What do you guys want to hear
person
about?
complaining?
We're thinking of not doing articles anymore. We don't know what we're going to do, but, like, do you guys have ideas? You know?
Yeah, like, do you guys love the articles? If you do, we'll keep rolling with it.
Yeah,
Or is
yeah.
there
If that's what
something-
you guys like, then we'll keep going with
Or
it.
is there
But,
something
like,
else you'd like better?
do you want to just hear us talk? You know, about nothing?
We'll ramble all day.
We could do that for 50 minutes.
What do
No
you
problem.
think we do when Dan comes over? We ramble for a few hours before we ramble on the mic.
We could just record that, I guess,
Yeah.
but it's whatever you guys want. Let us know. And also, let us know if you want to be on the ScruffCast.
Yeah, I like the idea. If you bring a good enough article, you get to earn
You're
yourself
on.
a spot
Boom.
on the show.
Yep. There you go.
All right.
So that's the game changer, folks.
Yep.
And
Leave us a
that-
like on YouTube.
Yep.
Comment.
Yep.
Let us know. We're ready to change it up,
That's right.
but only if you desire.
Make the ScruffCast great again. Or just great, because I don't think it's ever was great previously, so we can't say
we
again.
haven't
but
hit our peak yet.
No.
Like, don't tell me. I really hope we're not like Michael Jordan, right? Who, you know, we were great and then we retired. So we
Came
took a
back,
4-month
like,
break.
you were still good,
We came
but
back, we're good, but they're just
you
like,
lost that time in between.
yeah, you're just like, he's just
Momentum
not
was
the same,
killed. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right, let us know.
Oh, I feel like there was one more thing we were going to say here, but
I don't remember.
This one, you know what? This one wasn't as bad as last Family Days. It still wasn't very good, but this was not a good one. But hopefully the announcement at the end that you can be on ScruffCast made up for it all.
I hope so.
So you can call in. It'll be fun. We want to hear your voices, and we want to read your thoughts.
Yeah.
All right. That's
All right.
it. That's enough of this. Thanks for listening, everybody, to episode 42 of the ScruffCast.
The Jackie Robinson.
Oh, Jackie. And we'll catch you next week.
As I'm watching her go, all I'm thinking is, oh damn that bad thing. I can tell you're really good at distracting.
Hello, welcome to the ScruffCast. You're calling in live.
Hi, this is Dan calling. I enjoy listening to ScruffCast. And for your question to ponder, I would kill more than just one kid, actually. I'd kill multiple to make that happen.
If you kill multiple, you actually will eradicate multiple diseases. Good choice.
That's okay. Great, perfect.
Can you hear me all right over there?
That's all I need to know.
All right.